Nick, are you okay with Lamar being left off this list?
No, I'm not. The guy wins 3 out of 4 games he plays, and I'm a quarterback wins guy, but that is noteworthy. Additionally, and more importantly, he averages more than 2 touchdowns per game, 270 total yards per game, and he has done it without what I would consider elite offensive skill position talent around him. I think, Coach, we all agree having Lamar behind Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott is absurd on its face. But I would also argue, what evidence do we have since Lamar came into the league that Russell Wilson is better than him? I would have Lamar ahead of Dak, Deshaun, and Russell Wilson, who are the 10, 9, 8 on this list. Like Russell Wilson's career accolades that outsigned Lamar Jackson all happened when Lamar Jackson was in high school. And over the last 4 years, Lamar has been the better player. He has been more effective. They have the same level of playoff success, which is not much from either. And he has been a better regular season player. So I'm not certain. I think we all agree Lamar's better than Dak, and that Lamar is a better bet this year than Deshaun. But I also would have him ahead of Russell Wilson right now, this moment.
What's so interesting, Nick, I think there's something to this because Lamar isn't traditional. And if you're going to evaluate him in the traditional sense, then he's not going to be on this list. And one of the things that I've always been frustrated with Lamar or didn't know whether he could overcome is when the whole world knew he had to pass and he had to win the game throwing the ball not necessarily in the pocket, but he had to throw the ball, whether he could do it. And I don't know if he's shown that on a consistent enough basis, but he is so dangerous on so many different levels, and he creates such problems for defenses because of the way that he runs the ball, that's an element that these other guys obviously can't match. And I agree with you in terms of the 3 guys you would pop off, although I'm a bigger Russell Wilson fan than I think you are.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. He should definitely be in the top 10. It's a joke that Deshaun Watson is on this list. I mean, he hadn't played in a year. Last time he played, he was great individually, but the team was 4-12. And we don't know if he's going to play this season at all. And so that's ridiculous. Dak, my problem, I can't understand how in the world Dak Prescott is ahead of Lamar Jackson. I actually think if you flip them and Lamar Jackson is in Dallas, I don't know if they have a Super Bowl, but I think they've certainly got far more success than they've had with Dak. And I actually like Dak, but to have him ahead of Lamar is ludicrous. Lamar has shown he can carry a team. Like, it's built around him, and he's carried them. Dak has not shown that. Dak's best years as far as, like, playoff success were when Ezekiel Elliott was at his best, and he was kind of carrying that offense. And people do not seem to understand that Dak Prescott's gaudy numbers, and again, I'm a Dak guy, but I got to be honest. His gaudy numbers passing the football, I know I don't sound like it, but so much of them come when they're down big in the 3rd or 4th quarter, and he rallies them, but he lets them get in these huge holes. Where was the offense then? And so I don't know. I don't understand how people don't understand that. And also, he hasn't played great against teams with winning records. We see it here on this graphic. He eats up the chumps. All right, and there's a lot of chumps in the NFC East. All right, and you see 35-8 against teams with losing records, but only 18-24. And you see his individual stats go down as well, production. So that's my issue with Dak. And I'm with Coach as well, Nick, on Russell. I like Russell Wilson. You know that. I think you're downplaying him because now he's in the division with your guy, Patrick Mahomes. No, you will see this year this notion that Russ can't ball anymore. Only 5th last year in passer rating, even though he played, probably 3 games with a bad finger, came back early and gutted it out. Was 5th, I think, in yards per attempt. Like, Russell Wilson is still that guy, and you will find out sooner than later that that is true.
Okay. First of all, it is beyond my comprehension that you continue to try to argue that Russell Wilson was good last year. It just baffles me because we saw the games.
Just
the
better
other
than
things
you said.
the other things people saw was me be very critical of Russell Wilson the last 2 seasons before he ever sniffed the AFC West. My takes are not always layered in some subtext of trying to defend my guys. I was calling him when he was doing the fake Wilds, when he was doing the fake huddle on national television. Was anybody talking about him going to the AFC West? No. When he was doing more Instagram videos than a 17-year-old does TikToks, was anyone talking about him going to the AFC West? No. But I was very critical of Mr. Incredibly Limited at the time. That is on the record. Now, I want to say one thing quickly, Wilds, about the quarterback wins thing. Because I'm not a quarterback wins guy, with a caveat. If an offense is built entirely around your singular skill set, and the only way for the offense to function is for you to do things, then I do think you deserve credit when that leads to winning. That is a different scenario than we have seen other quarterbacks. Take Jimmy G out of it. Take a Jared Goff when he was still with the Rams. When that offense was about McVay's design and Todd Gurley at the time, singular excellence. And all of a sudden, Jared Goff had a gaudy win-loss record for a couple seasons, but that was not based on what he was doing. So I think that's why quarterback wins, to me, need some context. Lamar, they rebuilt an offense around exactly what he does, and he delivered. So he gets more credit than a Ryan Tannehill when he has a good win-loss record with the Titans, when it's mostly about Derrick Henry and the play-action pass game.
Sure. So I 100% buy that. And we can show the graphic again. Coach, my question for you is this. Russ in Seattle was in a run-first offense, the same way the Ravens like to run the ball. Do you think the Ravens' philosophy is going to change at all this upcoming year as we head more and more to a passing league? Or do you think the Ravens are like, nope, we're the Ravens, this is what we're going to do, this is what has worked for us?
Well, to Nick's point, this was the perfect situation for Lamar, and going to get Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator who is so good with the quarterback-driven runs, and this was a perfect marriage, and that level of success is not surprising. One of the things that you always have a concern about is as running quarterbacks get paid gigantic money, the equation starts to change, and you're not as apt to take the hits that you took as a young guy when you're making a lot more money. And there's a saying, I've seen a lot of good young running quarterbacks, but not very many old ones, and there's a couple reasons for that. One of the reasons is they get injured, and the other reason is they get paid. And both those things tend to make a guy pull back a little bit, and then you've got to see where he is as a passer. And I don't have a problem with the Ravens changing it to where he tends to rush or run the ball more on third down or 2-minute or in the red area, more critical situations than a down-by-down quarterback-driven run offense.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.